With gas still relatively affordable, compact SUVs are booming in sales popularity. These cars combine family-friendly features with a higher seating position and a little extra utility that appeals to many shoppers. We took the Chevrolet Equinox, the Honda CR-V, the Nissan Rogue, the Jeep Compass, the Mazda CX-5, and the Volkswagen Tiguan. We compared them all to the Ford Escape. That's the model that won this comparison the last time we did it. So the question is the Escape still king of the hill, and how did it shake out for everyone else? Let's find out.
Fellow Cars.com editors Joe Bruzek and Fred Meyer joined me as judges on this test.
A far cry from its undersized predecessor, the Tiguan beat out the second-place Honda CR-V by the narrowest of margins thanks to plenty of seating and cargo space with good ride and handling to match.
The Tiguan was perfectly pleasant to drive in traffic. It's not the most powerful here. The engine felt a little weak and I wanted a little more.
Where the Tiguan does stand out is its cargo area that feels like a class larger than these other compact SUVs.
Falling just behind the Tiguan is the second-place Honda CR-V, a redesign with a tour de force of safety and family-friendly features, but a little bit of a pokey drivetrain.
The CR-V is the Swiss Army knife of this competition. The center console storage is configurable in so many different ways. It's the size of a minivan center console storage. You can put a ton of stuff in there. There are different dividers and such. It's just great to put a bunch of pocket items. And then in the back, the cargo area is very useful. It has a low load-in height and it's just massive. So we've complained a lot about the previous CR-V's multimedia system, how it didn't have a volume knob. And even though it does with this new one, it's still a band-aid on a kind of a crappy system. It's hard to use, it's very clunky to navigate through. There's still a lot of room for improvement. There are much better multimedia systems in this class, especially what's inside the Compass.
In third place is the Mazda CX-5, a redesigned SUV with a knockout interior, but a few questions on the drivability front.
The CX-5 is the one of these you want to buy if you want your friends to think you spent a lot more for the car. It looks good from the outside, the styling's great, and the interior materials look like a class above.
I don't really know how, but Mazda snuck a luxury car into this comparison. The CX-5 is really nice on the inside. I wouldn't have any trouble pitting this car up against a $40,000 Acura or Infiniti. But where it does kind of fall short to the more premium brands is the engine and transmission combo. It's more similar to this class of cars in a compact SUV.
Smack dab in the middle, the fourth place Ford Escape drove like a champ with an excellent multimedia system to boot, but a little bit of a smallish interior hurt its case. Ride and handling in the Escape are really possibly the best in this entire group. Ride quality is excellent, it really just soaks up all the bumps, and despite that, handling is outstanding. Just really good steering feedback, limited body roll, sound dynamics. This is possibly the most fun to drive on curvy roads, up there with the Mazda.
The Escape is the sleeper of this test. It fooled me last time and it fooled me again this time. I go in not expecting much, but then I drive the thing and the ride quality is great. It's quiet, the front seat is comfortable, and the optional 2.0 liter with the all-wheel drive and the transmission, it's just a seamless combination. This is just a fantastic SUV to drive.
Unlike some of the bigger and airier feeling interiors here, the Escape feels a little pinched inside. It feels narrower, and the styling of the interior sort of makes you feel more cockpit-like, more closed in.
Missing safety features also cost the Escape a lot of points. Our test car lacked important technologies like forward collision warning with automatic emergency braking, and the Escape was the only model in this test not to even offer the automatic braking. The redesigned Chevrolet Equinox placed fifth. Judges lauded its powertrain and connectivity, but criticized some cabin materials and handling.
The Equinox makes you appreciate just how nice the Mazda CX-5 is. Going from the Equinox to the CX-5 is like stepping out of a subcompact car and jumping into a luxury car.
Now, ride quality in the Equinox is a little bit firm, but very controlled, and overall a high quality experience. Handling, however, just doesn't match a lot of these other SUVs. Very loose steering and a lot of body roll. And like the Escape, our Equinox lacked collision warning with automatic braking. The Equinox at least offers both features, but you have to go up to the top trim level and then pay even more for options packages to get them. In sixth place was the recently refreshed Nissan Rogue, an SUV with plenty of versatility, but some spotty cabin materials and an outdated multimedia system.
The Rogue is pretty good at everything. I was looking through my scores, there's a lot of 7s and 8s and not too much outside of that.
The back seat still folds in a 40-20-40 split in the Rogue, and that's a nice feature. It slides forward and backwards as well. The Nissan didn't have the best visibility in the group, but it had one feature that none of the others had, and that was 360-degree surround view cameras, which makes parking a lot easier.
I wouldn't pay the price on the sticker for this one. If you got it at a good price, it would be a good family value. If you paid what's on the sticker, you're not getting what you're going to get in the rest of these cars.
In last place, the redesigned Jeep Compass. This SUV's interior begged questions on quality, while its powertrain and cargo situation cemented its last place finish.
I really wanted to like the Jeep Compass better. I like the upscale design of the interior. It looked good, but some fit and finish flaws made me wonder about the long-term reliability of the car.
What the Compass does poorly, it really does poorly. The turn signal and washer stalks feel like they're going to fall off. And then the area around the start-stop button, it doesn't look like it's put together very well. The build quality of this car is definitely questionable.
If you're looking for a soft ride though, the Compass's suspension is certainly tuned to really suck up bumps on the road. It's not the most controlled experience, but in terms of just total isolation, the Compass is one of the best in the group. The Compass didn't have a ton of cargo room, but it makes up for it with one feature that none of the other SUVs had, which is a folding front passenger seat. That means if you really need to carry a ladder or something else that's long and narrow, it could accommodate that.
Be sure to check out Cars.com for full results and much more on these SUVs.